Welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian. And so today what we're going to be talking about, Pokemon Unite. We're going to be talking about Avatar coming to Smite, the new Smash Bros. Character, a couple new DC games that got announced / leaked, The Last of Us Part 2. But the biggest news of the week that we're going to be kicking off, Michael Keaton returns as Batman, possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, not 100% confirmed.
No.
But
so yeah, he's in talks. I mean, this is all rumored as of now. There's been no confirmation, I don't think, from WB.
No, nothing that's concrete, but there's
it's all but confirmed, I guess, at this point. But
yeah,
he's in talks to make his debut in the Ezra Miller Flash, which who knows when we're gonna get that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think they're still pushing for the 2021 release, but
that's not happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, just given COVID and that whole
just how that movie's been, not even COVID, I feel like.
Yeah,
that movie keeps getting delayed, stuff keeps happening.
Oh, yeah, no, big time. But if they do get Keaton onto this might be the thing that actually pushes it forward.
Yeah. So, yeah, his role is going to be more of a Nick Fury, kind of getting the band together type of role. Kind of mentor.
Kind of advisory kind of role here for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say definitely a mentor for young Ezra Miller's Flash and... grizzled, because he is if he does return, he's playing his Batman from the Tim Burton universe, which is a cool way of DC tying in those old movies with him in them to this new DCEU. It would basically canonize Michael Keaton's Batman,
right? And I mean, say what you will about DC's multiverse storylines and all that, because I mean they get really complicated and really convoluted, but you do get to do really cool things like this where you can actually bring in whoever you want, however you want, whenever you want here. I mean, it's cool.
I mean, it's really similar to what Marvel's starting to do right now. As far as where they're going, at least it kind of seems like both of these comic entities are kind of going into the multiverse direction.
Yeah.
Because we're getting obviously Doctor Strange,
and the multiverse of madness and all that, and even in Spider-Man: Far From Home, they kind of hinted at the idea of a multiverse and whatnot here.
Yep, totally. So I like where this is going. This is the best rumor in all of DC history.
Yeah, no, I mean it would be a good move for DC. I really don't see a clear downside to them bringing back Michael Keaton, just because it's honestly a good way to kind of reboot the Batman that they need for this DC extended universe. And it's also a great way to bring in people who are maybe lapsed on the whole DC shtick, and also bring in more people for this whole audience here. I mean, personally, doesn't get me super excited though, just because I'm not the biggest Michael Keaton fan, but
I like Michael Keaton.
Sure. But I mean, I think the real question is that, we were talking about it before we started recording. How is this going to actually go down? Is it going to be him being a Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman, or is it going to be more Batman Beyond type of thing, where he's the guy in the chair giving everybody intel?
I think it's going to be both.
Yeah, I think you are. I think you are correct on that, because I think because he's still, Michael Keaton is still young enough to do a physical role. We saw him in Spider-Man Homecoming, as the Vulture. So, and I think he even had some physical stunts he had to do in Birdman or something like that. But so that being said, so he could still maybe do I don't know, a movie or two here or there or something like that. But I mean, ultimately, age catches up with everybody, and so he is going to have to, pass off the mantle. And who better to do that, or the opportunity to do that, than actually introduce Terry McGinnis, get a full on Batman Beyond thing going on, and just call it good. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think that it would be, I can see them not doing the Batman Beyond thing, because they haven't done it yet, and this might be a sensitive time for them to do something new. But this could also be on the flip side, the best time for them to do something new because they're bringing in a ringer like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like the old school Batman, those two Batman movies.
Sure.
I'm sure there's people out there.
I mean, sure.
But, I mean, Michael Keaton as an actor, I really like, and I've liked him more over the last few years with, Homecoming.
Yeah.
He was in The Other Guys. He's really funny, too.
No, he is. And for, I think, an entire generation, Michael Keaton is Batman here. And so...
Yeah, my generation. Yeah. Ours, essentially.
So, I mean, I think, for...
or people a little older than us, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, so I think for... I think for those people, you're buying back, some goodwill for one. Because, I mean, people will go to see Michael Keaton as Batman in the Cape and Cowl again. For sure. I think this honestly just has the whole has potential for it to just be a home run for DC, and also just the fact that, kind of speaking on to the Batman Beyond thing, I think they kind of almost have to go with that for like their DC extended universe. I mean, obviously we're getting Robert Pattinson's Batman. Jury's still out on like, how good that will be, what's going to actually differentiate that from like, what we've seen in the past. But with Batman Beyond, it's still Batman. It's still, technically like canonical to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah, it is, 100%.
And you can still get away with that, have it be differentiated and kind of make it more fresh for like, an audience rather than trying to like repeat some story beats from previous movies here.
I think it makes sense with Ben Affleck's departure and then maybe with Flashpoint, because this Ezra Miller movie is supposed to be Flashpoint. At least it's rumored to be. So kind of fusing these universes together potentially. Maybe this Bruce Wayne from this universe gets brought into the normal one.
Yeah, kind of like how some of their storylines and even like the multiverse storyline from the CW shows, how they kind of converge like a bunch of realities. I think you'll probably see something like that happen along those lines, or like different timelines get converged or something like that. But no, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, definitely has me a lot more interested in the Flash movie, and
big time.
Still no word on like Ezra Miller actually getting axed from WB. So it sounds like
as of now,
sounds like they might be moving forward with this here, or like everything's kosher. So who knows?
See what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
And related DC news, they got some games that were leaked. So domain names for 2 new games have been registered. Suicide Squad game, and then it's rumored to be developed by Rocksteady.
Yeah, so the guys who made the Arkham games.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not like really chomping at the bit for like a Suicide Squad game, but Rocksteady has shown that they know how to handle a property pretty well. They made some of the best superhero video games of all time. So I'm kind of curious to see like, what they will do with this whole, with like something like the Suicide Squad, and like how that will play, how that will feel and all that. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to find out more about it.
And the other being Gotham Knights, which I'd be down for a Gotham Knights game, but I don't really know exactly what it is.
So I'm pretty sure just from like all the...
Is it that arc? Like that's right before the Batman Metal or whatever. Is it anywhere near that genre?
Like the Dark Knight Metal or whatever. Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'm assuming, and from what I've researched, this is all essentially just pointing towards the Arkham game that hasn't been announced yet.
Okay, so it's a code name essentially.
A code name, or it could be the title.
Why? But why Gotham Knights?
I don't know. Okay. I could not tell you. Maybe like you'll be playing as multiple characters. Like, you might be playing as like maybe Nightwing for like, a part of the campaign. Might be playing as Robin for a part of the campaign. So I am not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
Batwing?
Who knows?
Okay.
But no, I mean,
let me play as the Red Hood and kill people.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just kidding. Actually, that's what I always wanted in the other games, was to play as Red Hood.
I mean, technically you did, like...
Yeah, but not really.
But, like, yeah, it wasn't like a dedicated part of the campaign. It was just like a combat mission or something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, All right, more game news. Something we've been high on these last couple of weeks has been Avatar: The Last Airbender, and for whatever reason, now almost
of all times,
15 years later, right, they're teaming up with Smite, which is a MOBA game, and they're gonna have Aang, Zuko, and Korra. They'll all be skins for characters in Smite now. So they're taking pre-existing characters and giving them the similar. They're trying to match them up with who has similar abilities.
Correct. Yeah. So you're having like whoever is like the best fit or whatever. They're I think like one of them's like Merlin or something like that. Another one's like I forget, but
I don't know. That game's confusing to me.
Yeah, but basically like you have like pre-existing characters. They're getting a skin to like match like some of those characters, and then you'll have those characters evolve like when you prestige with those characters or something like that, where you'll have Zuko will like have a blue spirit skin, you'll have Aang and Korra have like an Avatar state skin. So kind of cool stuff. I mean, here's the thing, I will probably never play a MOBA ever again in my entire life just because I just am not a fan of them here.
What MOBA did you like that you've played?
None of them.
Oh, did you play Paragon at all?
I did.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Not great.
Yeah, so...
but I'll tell you about a MOBA I will play in just a minute.
But the reason why I put this on here is just, for one, it's really interesting just the fact that there is no, like... actual like new thing coming from Avatar, like at least
unless they ghost drop the new series.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Well, that's what Netflix has been doing. Hey, in 2 months this is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have a release date on that here, but who knows, or like even a window. But yeah, I mean, there's currently like no like new animated series, no new like big project in development right now, and I think they're just like kind of capitalizing on Avatar's like resurgent popularity on Netflix here, and it's like
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, heck, that's what we're doing here, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to see like Avatar actually get popular again, and like see that franchise be represented, not just like in its shows, but it's like other forms of media are paying homage. So no, it's cool.
Yeah, which is a good segue, and make sure you guys subscribe and go over to our YouTube channel. Because we are going to have our Thursday throwback come out here very soon for book 3 of Avatar. We've gone through book 2 and book 1. Make sure you check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recently actually downloaded Smite.
Oh, really?
Well, it was because our buddy Darren was like, "Yeah, I might play that," and I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll play it with him."
Jump in.
I don't understand that game at all.
Really?
I don't get it. Like I'm like. Paragon I got, but I'm not a huge MOBA guy. I understand the concepts and like the tactical aspects of it, but it's just not enough. There's a lot of running. You're just pretty much, you run into something, you fight, you die, you run into something again.
Yeah, I mean, or
you're playing defense.
Yeah, I mean, by and large, I mean, the thing that does it for me is it can be very time consuming. Like matches are like 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, no. I'm like, get me out of this. We're getting destroyed.
I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, it's like, I'm not bashing on the people that like MOBAs. No. I'm like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I have no
ill will.
No ill will, yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's just like it's just not for me, not at all.
I get that.
Yeah.
Speaking of MOBAs, Pokemon gets a MOBA and everyone's pissed.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, and not because it's a MOBA game. That's not the reason people are mad.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about all these different Pokemon games that were
just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting Pokemon Smile, which is the new Pokemon Snap. That's what it's called. I'm pretty sure.
It's Smile?
Pokemon Smile.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure that's what people are saying, at least.
Okay.
Maybe that's just the code name for it, because I don't know if they have a name.
Yeah.
They're not calling it Pokemon Snap 2. I know that much.
Okay.
Or that's a whole different game, and I have no idea what that game is because I haven't seen anything on it.
Yeah.
Then we got the DLC drop, basically.
Yeah,
for Sword and Shield.
Yep.
Then we got what What was it?
Pokemon Cafe.
Yeah, it was just like a mobile game / I thought it was only on Switch. That's what they made it seem like, and it's a mobile game. Like I've been playing on my phone.
Huh.
Way better on your phone, by the way.
I would imagine.
You can't even play the game not docked. Or sorry, you can't play the game docked at all. It has to be a touchscreen.
Interesting.
So anyway, so we had all these crazy announcements last week, and they go, "Hey, we got something coming next week. Make sure you stay tuned."
Yeah.
People are getting all hyped up. There's rumors of a Let's Go Johto, which would be a remake of Silver and Gold.
Right.
You know, potential remakes of Diamond and Pearl because they still haven't done that.
Sure.
Which would have been huge.
Well, because Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, that was like a Kanto, right?
That was the OG, yeah. Yep. Based off of Red and Blue.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, people were thinking, oh, this is gonna be an announcement for that, this or the other thing, and then they're like, it's a MOBA game that you can play on your phone or the Switch, and it was just like, I think a lot of people just were let down.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of hype for no reason. This should have just been part of the presentation last week.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if like the trailer wasn't done or something along those lines, or they just didn't want to get it buried in the all the announcements for Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, the thing is like if you're gonna get people excited about something, it has to be something that people want to see, not just this one thing here.
Yeah, and I think the bigger letdown was when they did the announcement, because I watched the whole announcement because they did like a live stream of like a match.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of it, they just go, "Yeah, this is coming out sometime soon." No date, no nothing.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, you hype this up.
Seems pretty premature.
Yeah, there's not even a release date or season. You're not saying this is coming out summer, late summer. This is coming out winter. You're not saying anything.
I mean,
looks like the game's done.
Yeah, I mean, chances are they'll probably just like ghost drop it here. I mean, and now I think they'll probably even wait even longer to let all this,
blow over
negativity and bad press. Just blow over.
I feel like they could have released it then. Like that's what I would have done, or been like, hey, next month, make sure you check back. We're gonna, because Pokemon Cafe with the announcement was out pretty much. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You could go download it right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely kind of weird because this is a game that I don't think really anybody actually asked for, and the thing.
It's a cool concept.
Sure.
I like the idea of teaming up with some of your friends and playing this game. There's a lot of cool aspects they showed off in the trailer where I was like, this might be a game I'd put on my phone.
Yeah.
You level up, your Pokemon evolves as you progress through the match.
Yeah.
You can purchase certain moves based, when you're leveling up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Seems cool that you could go and just fight, and do that sort of thing with a bunch of your friends, especially if you're a MOBA guy. I'm not, but I'll try it because it's Pokemon.
Sure.
But I think the execution and delivery was really poor and just kind of.
Yeah, no, I think I read somewhere that this reveal trailer for Pokemon Unite is Pokemon's like most disliked video.
Oh yeah,
it's like
I was watching someone talking about the release basically, and he was like, "This is the most disliked video that I think Pokemon's ever had."
Yeah,
like 75% of dislikes, and it was like more like 25% likes.
It's really interesting, just like freaking YouTube, just because you'll have like game trailers typically are like the most disliked trailers if they don't live up to like fan expectations or something like that. Meanwhile, you have like a neo-Nazi on YouTube just like spouting stuff or something like that.
Who knows?
You know, hey, it's a wild world here.
It is a wild world we live in. So let's talk about some more video game stuff.
Yep.
New Smash character, which I knew this was happening, didn't know it came out.
Yeah, well, it's not out just quite yet.
Okay.
But
June 29th.
Yeah, June 29th. So
as of this coming out, it will be out.
Should be, yeah. Yeah. So basically what's going on is we got basically foretold by a Nintendo Direct that the next character was going to be an ARMS character, which, I don't think anybody was really like super hyped on, to be honest with you.
I feel like that was the one IP that had to be in the game that wasn't.
I mean, yeah. Well, it was one of the ones where I was kind of surprised at launch. I'm like, okay, you have like this fighting game, which Smash Bros, to a certain extent is a fighting game.
Yeah.
And you also have, and the fighting game, that you released arms sold like over 1 million copies here. You know, it was actually successful. Like, why wouldn't you just include this like at the very beginning here? You know, reasons beyond my comprehension. But regardless, we are getting it coming out June 29th, and it's going to be Min Min. So basically the one that's like the Chinese noodle ramen shop has like noodle arms and stuff like that. And, you know, we'll have like a couple of different things that she's kind of bringing to the roster that kind of differentiate her. Like she has like different arms that you can swap in and swap out, just like the game. Yeah. So you'll have like one of the heavy attack arms. You'll have like one of the ones that is like a lighter attack, but
so it'll just switch, kind of like Byleth, like when they're doing different kinds of attacks.
Not quite. So like Byleth had like each direction had like was assigned a different weapon.
I'm just saying like this switching, like where it'd be like boom, it's there, not have to like.
I think if I remember right, is like you press down B, you cycle through which arms you want, and then like all your attacks will be like that. So you'll have one that like could shoot a projectile. You'll have
the
one
rocket
that's
ones.
Like, you know, more like mid range, more like, you know, a quicker, lighter attack and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, from what Sakurai was saying, just what gameplay was showing, it looks like she's going to be kind of more of a distance fighter, which I mean, I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah.
So I mean, kind of surprised that they didn't have like, they didn't do like a Bowser Jr. where you can play as like all the Koopalings.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Because I mean, I feel like a lot of the ARMS people that you play as in that game, you could have probably easily palette swapped them. With this one, but you know, whatever, I guess. But not the most exciting character to like really be added to the roster. That being said, I could see myself playing her just because I feel like her kit and her moveset, I think, is something I could get into just by watching. So we'll see. I mean, I'll give you maybe an update on that next week.
Yeah, I don't really care about this news.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't care. You could have said any of the ARMS characters and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, fine. Like, I'm glad that you guys are actually putting a character in there that should have been in here in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I like the ninja guy. I'm partial to him.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I forget it.
Or Kid Cobra. What was?
Yeah, the Cobra guy. That guy was cool too. I mean, I would have preferred those guys over like Min Min here, but you know, it's like.
Or like you're saying, do the skins. That's how the Dragon Quest guy is.
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
You know, I don't know.
So yeah, I personally don't get it, but you know, that's just how it went. So yeah.
New Crystal Chronicles Remastered details, which you and Sebrecht are all about this game.
Yeah, so me and Sebrecht, we were...
Sebrecht's a friend of the show.
Yep. We played this game a lot when we were kids here on the GameCube, and that was like a really tough one to play just because you had to have not like 4 GameCube controllers, but you had to have... Each player had to have a Game Boy Advance.
What?
Yes, and a link cable. Yeah.
How did I not know about this game?
Oh, it was wild. Like, but because
you had to have a GameCube and their Game Boy Advance with a link cable.
With a link cable, and you use the Game Boy Advance as the controller because it had a screen, so you could like see the map, see like your items and all that stuff here without cluttering like the main screen or what was going on in the main screen. It was wild, but it was great.
Was that the game that someone had to hold like the potion so that no one got poisoned or whatever?
Yep.
From what I hear about the game is most people don't like that game.
Yeah.
But you guys loved it.
No, we loved it here. So
okay. Because someone always gets hosed because they got to be the one that carries the jug or whatever it is.
Yeah, basically. But
and you have to have your Game Boy Advances.
Yeah, no, it was like it was not the most consumer friendly game. Like you know
this game you want to play, you got to have all our systems and a link cable.
Yep. Yeah. No. I mean, it was wild. I mean, like they would never make a game like that today. Here.
I mean, I had both.
Yeah.
Like we had the GameCube.
Yeah.
I also had an Advance because I loved Mega Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was playing Battle Network.
He had all the Pokemon games that came out on Advance and all that. But But basically, so it's getting a remaster. And one of the things that they mentioned in the trailer, it will have a mobile version. So you can play this on your phone if you want to. And it will have cross-platform play with PS4 and Switch, and PS4 and Switch can play together as well. So that's dope. But
do you need 2 Switches? You need like a Switch and a Switch Lite?
So here's a...
Well, your Switch Lite has to have a link cable to your actual Switch.
Right. But the cool thing about that I really want to highlight in like this whole like trailer and announcement thing here is there's going to be a light version of the game that's free that will have 3 dungeons, and you can play this light version with like other people that have the light version, and you can do the 3 dungeons. But let's say I have the full version, full like $40, $60, whatever they're going to be pricing this at, and you have the light version.
We can play the full version.
Well, you don't get to play the full version, but that number of like 3 dungeons jumps up to 13.
How many total dungeons are there? Do you know?
I don't know. I think there might be like roughly.
That's kind of cool though.
Roughly 20, but no, it's really cool because I mean it just allows people just to like actually get involved, like actually play. It's really doing the opposite of what it did back in the day. It's like making the barrier of entry like a lot lower,
especially having it on mobile.
Exactly, yeah,
and cross-platform.
Exactly,
cross-platform's the future. You heard it here first. That's kind of, I mean, we've talked about it on a lot of our podcasts, but anything that's cross-platform, I'll at least look at right now because I just love the idea of,
no barriers really like stopping people from playing with each other.
Well, like let's say I'm somewhere, I'm not around my Switch or whatever. Like, hey, I'm gonna hop on and play some, Crystal Chronicles. You want it? I'd be like, nah, I can't. I'm not at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I don't have my Switch with me, and they'd be like, let me hop on my phone real quick, and we'll pop in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that. I just like that concept.
Well, it's just giving people more versatility on like how to play games rather than basically forming like a coalition with like 4 people. Say, okay, guys, we all gotta pop down $60 on this game here, and we all have to enjoy this for this amount of time and be playing and we have to all be like coordinating our schedules at this time here in order to do it.
Right.
I mean, right now for like us and our group of friends, that's a little bit of a chore here, just because
2 people are in different time zones.
Exactly.
That we know. And I live in a different state. Anyway, all right. Nintendo Mobile might not be around for much longer.
Yeah, so apparently, according from a report from Bloomberg, Nintendo has no like mobile games currently in development. Now, just to make a distinction, just because Pokemon is putting out mobile games,
that's a whole separate thing. That's Game Freak.
Yeah, Game Freak. I mean, essentially, like Pokemon Company and Nintendo are not necessarily considered the same entity, even though they have been like partners with each other for a long time now. That being said, the report essentially states that Nintendo is essentially underwhelmed by its performance in their games, and they're looking at like putting a stop to like any further developments for mobile games for the future. Which, here's the thing, it makes total sense because the reason why they started doing like these mobile games was because they had to recoup the cost for the Wii U here. I mean, the Wii U wasn't selling well.
No.
So they had to figure out some other way to generate revenue. Now they released God's favorite console, the Switch.
Yep.
Things are going well for them. They're actually making like crazy amounts of money, and like pretty much their software is selling really well on there. So it's like, okay, well, why do we still have this thing going on that's not like netting us like a ton of money versus like, we still have like this big whale that's like cashing in like so much money for us here,
Yeah.
It's basically choosing like which fish you want to fish for, essentially.
Well, and I think it's more like as a company, you're always looking at that stuff of what's working, what's not, and where can we cut costs and put that money towards something that's actually working.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not to mention too, it's like Nintendo's mobile games, I mean, they've kind of been hit and miss for the most part.
Which ones have you seen or played?
So I played the Fire Emblem one.
Yep, played that one. It was okay.
I played Mario Run, which I actually did like that one. I think that might be it. I haven't played the Mario Kart one that's on there. I hear there's
a Mario Kart one?
Yeah, there's a Mario Kart one that came out about... FTP?
Free to play?
Kind of. I mean, apparently that game gets pretty microtransaction.
Oh,
so
that's how any of them are.
Yeah. So that being said, it's... I mean, but the thing is like these, Nintendo mobile games, they're really just kind of like a sampler platter of some of their best stuff here. And it's like,
yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'd rather play a fully realized Mario game or a fully realized Fire Emblem game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what most people who enjoy Nintendo games feel that way too. At least that's what I've heard. So
no, I agree with you because
well, especially considering that the Switch is portable, you can have those top quality AAA experience from Nintendo on the go. You don't have to necessarily rely on your phone to provide you just a small window of that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take my Switch with me to work or anything.
Sure.
Or sometimes if I'm on my break or
I mean,
lunch, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pull my phone out and maybe watch a YouTube video or play a little bit of a game.
It is easier to fit your phone in your pocket rather than your Switch here, But,
yeah, totally.
I mean, yeah, you always have it on you, but
that's ideal. I think this I'll talk about it more in a minute because I'm going to do a little brief first impressions of Pokemon Cafe because I have actually been playing it.
Yeah, sure.
But enough about that. I think Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo wants to do. They're underwhelming games in a general sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, stick to your console stuff. You know?
I mean, and the thing is if this results into more Switch games being made and more quality stuff that we want to see from Nintendo rather than just something to hold us over, I'm game.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we're gonna switch gears a little bit, talking about TV shows, and that being one, Netflix and kind of the powerhouse I think it's turning into.
Yeah.
And Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Cobra Kai was a show on YouTube Premium.
Yep.
That was basically a continuation of the Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it focused around the bad guy from Karate Kid, basically.
Yeah, Johnny Lawrence.
Yep. And it also focused on obviously the Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso himself.
Yep.
Now they're in their late 40s, early 50s now.
Yeah, they got the original actors to come back and play it, which is really cool. And yeah, no, it's honestly a show worth checking out here. In all honesty, I mean, a little bit more on the harsher PG-13 side of things here, I would say.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a good show.
Yeah, and I think season 1 and 2 will be coming to Netflix soon.
Yeah.
I don't know how soon.
They said 2020. I mean,
I think right now would be a great time. I don't know how long it takes to get that stuff kind of ported over and in your database, but it shouldn't take too long.
It might be more of they're finalizing the
deal,
the deal and the transition of rights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
here.
There have been a lot of rumors surrounding season 3, and we've been waiting for a while now, a year and a half. I want to say almost
about a year. I think season 2 came out. I want to say
March or
April of last year.
It wasn't April. It wasn't April because I was married. I got married in April, and me and my wife, my fiance at the time, were watching it.
Okay.
I know we weren't married yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was I think it was winter / early spring of last year. So yeah, I mean, it's been a year and 3 months, year and 4 months, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But which I guess is not that long in today's, especially those shows that are on digital platforms. But it's been too long. We need something to kind of
something new.
I don't know, stoke the fire of me wanting. Okay, if they came out and said Cobra Kai season 3 is coming in August, I'd be like, all right, let's go. Let's go. That's good news. But just the fact that they're moving over, I'm like, okay. There were rumors they were going to Hulu.
Yeah, no, there was
they actually talked about the actors yeah, we're going to be on Hulu now.
Yeah.
So obviously something fell through.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to I'm sure they're trying to sell the show again.
Yeah, which I mean,
because they probably shot season 3 already.
Well, and that's what. Yeah, I think that's what I'm figuring too. Is just because it sounds to me that season 3 by and large is done. because I think they started shooting that like shortly after
it was really
season 2
really
debuted,
quick after.
So it should be done. It shouldn't be like, impacted by COVID or anything like that, because they kind of got all that out of the way. But so I think, I don't know if it's just necessarily like a finalization thing, and then Netflix is going to say, hey, here's season 1, season 2, like at the beginning of July or something like that, or the beginning of August. And then at the end of the month, when you've had a chance to catch up on all this here, then season 3 is going to be dropping here, which, I think this is honestly probably a good move for the show, just because, for one, not too many people had YouTube Premium, YouTube Red, whatever it was called.
I think we, like, one of us would get it usually.
Yeah, me.
And then we would just watch at your house.
No, I remember
at least season 1.
Yeah, season 1, I remember watching like at least.
I think I got it for season 2, but I don't know. I think everyone probably got their own.
Right, but like for season 1, I remember watching it at least 3 times, just because like we'd have like one group of friends who would watch
one episode.
Well, that would like watch a couple episodes, call it quits, and then like and then Seabrecht was living with me at the time, so then I watched it with him, and then you guys came in, and then Kyle, I think, wanted to watch it and stuff like that. So it was like, I saw a lot of that show.
I did too. Yeah. I mean, I remember watching it. I think it was either just me and you, or me, you, and maybe Seabrecht. I don't know, but we binged like the whole season in like a weekend or something.
Pretty much, yeah, for the most part.
So, I mean, it's a solid show, season 1 and season 2. This is honestly a show, and I don't know if it's still on YouTube. I haven't actually checked recently, because they made it free for a while. Like, you could watch it.
At least, like, season 1, I think, or something like that.
I wish it was more accessible, because I want to go back and rewatch it without having to pay for premium again.
Right, exactly, which, I mean, and I think this is just, like I said, this is going to open it up to a lot more people here. That way, the show can actually grow, get a little more popular. I don't know how much longer they're planning on doing this show, but it could potentially go for a couple more seasons
especially with Netflix.
If it picks up with Netflix, or absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's it for our nerd news. We're going to head into our roundtable review. Dorian has a review of a brand new game that came out.
Yeah, brand new game.
Finally.
Yeah.
We have something to review.
Yes. So, this totally non-controversial game called...
I've never heard of this before.
Called The Last of Us 2 here. So just give everybody a heads up. If you guys are meaning to play this game or are playing through it, haven't finished it yet, I'm just going to go into like very mild spoilers. Like it's going to be more gameplay spoilers than like actual storyline here. Yeah. Like it's not going to go into any specifics on really like, anything that happens like beyond like the story for the most part. So just to give everybody full disclosure, like my feelings on the first Last of Us game, I think it was a good game. I don't think it was amazing like everybody thinks it is here. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 for me.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, still pretty good. But one thing I will say off the bat, I think only people that played the first game should play this game, because otherwise you're not going to really understand what is going on, or like the big impacts of like certain things happening in this game. So kind of just getting into what I like about this game. The graphics, animation, like we're talking about motion capture, facial expressions, and voice acting, top notch. Like really like probably like some of the best stuff that you'll ever see in a video game. Combat, when you're not being stealthy, is like chaotic and brutal, and it's like can be very cinematic at times here. It's really cool, like just to see like how certain things can play out, because you could play one situation out completely differently and then like die, play it out again, and then it'll be completely different here, just depending on like certain things you do and how enemy AI react to you and all that. And really connects to the first game, like right off the bat here. There's like a lot of connective tissue to that, which is really cool. You get to like actually see things pay off, things get explained more, all that stuff. And, the first half of the game really good. I think this is like the best parts of the game because the writing is good. There's more intrigue, really good level design, and there are some, plot twists are very unpredictable at that point in time. Now, what I wasn't crazy about was the second half of the game because I think the writing is less interesting. It's not as airtight, feels a little forced, especially given the length of the second half. And you basically have to start from square one with your equipment when you get to the second half here. And I won't go into like any details as to why, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you've been playing for, I don't know, like...
Did you lose your backpack or something?
So, well...
Just kidding.
Can't talk about that. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know, like you've been playing the game for like 12 hours. You've been upgrading. You've been...
Putting a lot of time.
You've been putting some time in. You've been getting new weapons, all this stuff here. And then once as you get to the halfway point, it says, okay, yeah, we're starting you back from square one. I'm like, okay, what, like, where does this make sense? Like, why would you nerf me halfway through the game essentially here? Mm-hmm. So that's probably like one of the main things I really took issue with this game here. And the one other thing I will say is like this game, like I think what most people don't know, this is a stealth game because essentially like you have to like you're pretty much almost mandated to do stealth. Otherwise you're just going to die like right off the bat. You can't just, choose whether to go stealthy or loud per se. And which is fine. But if the stealth was more fun, it would have been, better. Mm-hmm. I feel like, the stealth in this is like kind of tricky. It's not like Metal Gear Solid 5 where the stealth is fun. So
gotcha.
Or like,
debatably fun.
Or the Arkham games or something.
Oh yeah, the Arkham game is probably the best example of that. Yeah.
And then what I'm lukewarm about is the ending. Can't really say much on that right now if I'm going to keep it spoiler free.
Is there going to be Last of Us 3?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I mean,
you heard it here first.
So, but overall thoughts, in some ways, I think this is better than the first game. And in other ways, I think this is worse. And it's kind of got like the reverse problem because the first game didn't really like grab me like in its first half, but it did in its second half. This is kind of like the opposite. Like it grabs me in the first half and then kind of just loses me in the second half for the most part. I think overall this game is very ambitious in what it tries to do. I just don't think it completely executes it in perfection or succeeds completely. But that's what I got for The Last of Us 2. Yeah.
I probably won't play it.
No,
didn't play the first one.
Yeah, if you didn't play the first one, don't bother playing this one.
Guy, I am converting into a strictly free to play
model guy.
Yeah, because I don't like paying for games. So
yeah,
I'm communist when it comes to video games.
Oh, most certainly. Well, speaking about free communist game, that just came out. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that Pokemon Cafe?
Yeah, so I didn't know Pokemon Cafe was a mobile game. I thought it was just on Switch. And then I downloaded it on my Switch to play it, and it was like, it can't play in docked mode. So I was like, oh, well, this means it's probably a mobile game.
Yeah.
So I looked in my app store, and it was there, so I downloaded it. And it's really addicting.
Yeah, puzzle game, right?
It's a puzzle game, and I hate puzzle games.
Yeah.
Not about it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like them at all.
Okay.
But I've been playing this the last couple days here and there. I've probably done 50 different puzzles,
Sure.
Quite a few. I would recommend it. I think it's a fun game, especially to play while you're pooping or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you're waiting for in line for something, or it's an easy game to get in and out of. Like
it's
similar to Animal Crossings, I guess. Like where you could play it for a little bit, put it down, come back to it later.
Back to it, yeah.
You don't have to really remember what you're doing or where you're going.
No, it's not like really like it's not like it's just something simple and easy.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's not like stressful. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna do. Some games can even be stressful at times where you're like, oh no, I don't like this is too much for me right now, or this is just a really fun game that you don't really need to invest a whole lot of time into to
right,
get.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. I'd recommend it on specifically mobile.
Yeah. Okay.
Not necessarily Switch. So.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, can't go wrong with the price of free here.
Yeah. I mean, do we want to talk about Ninjala?
I mean, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
I mean, so bear in mind, my opinion on Ninjala is going to be coming from a place of I haven't really spent a whole lot of time to like really learn the mechanics. I just kind of just jumped in,
Same.
Try to play a few rounds and just kind of see if I could figure out the majority of the game myself here and all that. And in all honesty, I don't really like this game all that much. I mean, and I think mostly it stems just from the fact that I just think the game just does not teach you how to play like the game at all here. Like it has like a little brief tutorial and like, a video or two here or there, but it doesn't really like show you like what you should, like what do you do when this happens, or because there'll be times where I get in a match and there's something that I have no idea what's going on happening. I'm like, oh, I guess I just gotta try to do something here and then get my butt kicked here.
Pretty much that was so we got to play it the first day it came out, really. Yep. And so the servers were crashing a lot. I guess the servers are fixed now from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you a lot about the game. You're trying to figure it out as you go. I think it has a lot of cool concepts in the game that I'd like to see fleshed out a little better.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the combat.
Yeah, me neither.
Because if you do a combo, it basically goes in this rock, paper, scissors. If you're both trying to attack each other, so you're trying to pick different direction than the other guy, and if the guy picks the same direction, then there's like heavy attack, light attack. They don't explain any of the arrows, but like certain ones triumph over others and stuff like that. And so it was just really confusing trying to figure out how to play it. It looked cool. Like some of the aesthetics of it looked very Splatoon-y.
I think that's what they're going for here, is like they're trying to, get that Splatoon crowd here for the most part with the style and just kind of the, tone and whatnot. But
yeah, there's two different battle modes. There's the team versus team, kind of like deathmatch almost.
Yeah.
And then you have battle royale,
which is like just free for all, really. I mean, it's not like an actual battle royale.
No, it's not. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a because I mean, I think I mentioned it on the show before, but I've played this game at PAX, and at PAX, I don't know whether or not it was just because like there was a guy at the booth that kind of like walked you through and taught you how to play the game. But I remember this game being a lot more simplistic and just like in its design and all that. And now it's like roughly about 2 years later since I played that demo here, and it seems very different from what I played at PAX here. So I mean, and maybe I'm speaking too soon on this. I don't know if I'll really try to give this game another shot or not, but it's like, but I can see myself, like, if I did end up, learning the combat, learning, like, how to do things and actually get good at this game, I still don't know if I would really, like, play it or enjoy it all that much here, just because, I don't know, I just, like I said, I don't really like the combat all that much, or I don't really like, just how, like, things are set up here. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't have much more. I mean, I was really hoping to be a better game, I guess. I know it's still really early on in the infancy of it, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
it's free to play.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
Yep.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you guys for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You can check us out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like there. Share it with your friends, the video. If you're with us on our Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that stuff too, make sure you leave us a review and all that stuff. Check us out on our social media platforms, Patreon, all that. Have an awesome week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.